From ancient monsters to relics of lost civilizations, our oceans are full of mysterious surprises. Every now and then deep-sea divers come across things that are truly terrifying. From ancient statues to strange life forms, here are 15 mysterious things that gave divers quite a scare. Number 15. SS Montgomery. Often known as the ticking time bomb of the Thames, the SS Richard Montgomery is considered by many to be one of the most problematic diving sites on Earth. You see, the thing is, despite being an otherwise picturesque seaside location, the small town of Sheerness in England has been plagued by the wreckage of the SS Richard Montgomery ever since it sank just 2 miles offshore during the Second World War. Located in the bustling Thames estuary, the wreckage is still clearly visible from land, while its rusting masts rise ominously from the water like a terrified memorial. However, the most disturbing part of the sunken vessel is that it contained over 1,400 tons of high-powered explosives, many of which have been lost to the murky water surrounding it. Because of that, it has made the recovery of the wreckage virtually impossible, potentially causing one of the most devastating non-nuclear peacetime explosions ever seen. For all intents and purposes, this place is literally a ticking time bomb, and if it ever exploded, it would send a 30 to 40-foot tsunami wave hurtling up the iconic Thames River toward London. Number 14. Venus Flytrap Anemone. While the Venus flytrap may be one of the most frightening flora on the planet, deep beneath the ocean waves, the Venus flytrap anemone is a deep-sea entity like no other. As its name suggests, the Venus flytrap anemone sits quietly and waits for food to drift into its outstretched tentacles, which are lined with stinging harpoons known as nematocysts that it uses to hold its food in place before it folds itself inside, trapping its prey. For the most part, these incredible animals are detritivores, meaning they eat small particles of organic matter that float through the water. However, that doesn't mean that these extraordinary plant-like predators are exclusive scavengers because, although incredibly rare, they've been observed in the wild, swallowing, unassuming fish that have strayed too close. What a way to go! Number 13. Moai statues. You're probably already familiar with the iconic statues of Easter Island, traditionally known as the Moai by the indigenous people of Rapa Nui. So you may be asking yourself, what the heck are those things doing at the bottom of the ocean? For those of you that don't know, the Rapa Nui monoliths were believed to have been carved sometime between the years 1250 and 1500, and there are currently more than 900 statues scattered across the remote southeastern Pacific island. While their true purpose has been a matter of debate, their significance cannot be understated, and they were believed to symbolize the living faces of their deified ancestors. However, one particularly strange Moai monolith has given researchers cause for concern because this one is like no other. It's underwater. At around 23 feet in height, this truly astonishing carving is sitting on the ocean floor, staring blankly into the dark abyss that surrounds it. As you may imagine, divers that have witnessed this incredible statue have a lot of questions. Did it fall into the ocean from the coastline above? Was it built there intentionally? And if so, what purpose does it serve being so far beneath the surface? Sure, this incredible monolith could have fallen into the water, but if so, then it landed perfectly upright. However, there is a small caveat to this bizarre finding, as there are rumors that this strikingly strange statue is actually the leftover prop from a failed movie. Number 12. Giant trash pile. Alright, let's turn things up on a serious scale for a moment because few things on Earth are as terrifying as the devastating threat that our oceans and marine ecosystems currently face. Take a look at this truly terrifying footage, captured by a British diver back in 2018 just off the coast of Indonesia, who filmed himself swimming through heart-stopping swaths of plastic pollution. The diver, a guy named Rich Horner, lives just off the coast of Bali, and he regularly dives with manta rays and other incredible marine life throughout most of the year. However, in recent times, Rich has documented the increasingly prevalent amount of plastic pollution in the ocean, which is often exaggerated during the island's stormy seasons. While the images that Horner captured seem unreal, the sad and terrifying truth is that it's an increasingly familiar reality. Number 11. Neapolis. Speaking of entire cities being washed away by gigantic waves, take a look at this next entry. Discovered back in 2010, archaeologists have recently unearthed a vast network of underwater ruins that once made up an ancient Roman city known only as Neapolis, which was completely obliterated by a powerful tsunami roughly around 1,700 years ago. Considered to be one of the most significant discoveries of the area, the ruins stretch out over half a mile, and although they've been at the bottom of the ocean since 365 AD, some of the artifacts found there have been incredibly well preserved. Among the ruins, researchers have uncovered streets, monuments, and even large storage tanks that were once used to produce garum, a fermented fish sauce that was a delicacy in ancient Rome. The discovery of these tanks has provided valuable insights into the city's economy, suggesting that Neapolis was a major hub for the production and trade of this prized commodity. Divers have also found intricate mosaics and marble columns, hinting at the city's former grandeur and architectural sophistication. The tsunami that destroyed Neapolis is believed to have been triggered by a massive earthquake, which not only devastated the city but also reshaped the coastline of the region. Historical records from the time describe the event as catastrophic, with entire communities being swept away by the waves. The ruins of Neapolis now serve as a time capsule, offering a rare glimpse into the daily lives of its inhabitants and the cultural exchanges that took place in the ancient Mediterranean. The site has become a focal point for underwater archaeology, with researchers using advanced technology to map and study the submerged city. Efforts are also underway to preserve the ruins and protect them from further damage caused by ocean currents and human activity. Believed to have been originally founded in the 5th century BC, Neapolis means new city in Greek, and the city was believed to have changed hands between several warring factions throughout the tumultuous ancient Greek period. Now it's time for today's topic. A routine diving expedition in the North Sea turned into a nightmare when one of the divers claimed to have encountered a terrifying, unidentified creature in the depths. The crew, tasked with exploring a sunken shipwreck, was working at a depth of 200 feet when the incident occurred. The diver, an experienced professional, was inspecting a submerged tunnel when he suddenly screamed for help over the comms. His voice was frantic, describing something massive and predatory emerging from the darkness. "It had glowing eyes and teeth like knives," he managed to say before his breathing became erratic. The crew immediately pulled him to the surface, but by the time they reached him, he had fallen into a coma. The team reviewed the diver's helmet camera footage, and what they saw left them shaken. A massive, eel-like creature with razor-sharp teeth appeared to lunge at the diver before the feed cut out. Experts who analyzed the footage are divided. Some believe it could be an undiscovered deep-sea predator, while others suggest it might be a hallucination caused by nitrogen narcosis. The diver remains hospitalized, unable to recount the full details of his encounter. Was it a real creature or something else entirely? The mystery remains unsolved, leaving the crew haunted by what they witnessed. Number 10. Ancient silver. Alright, when it comes to deep-sea diving, there are few things as heart-stopping as the discovery of long-lost buried treasure. To feast your eyes on the true definition of pirate plunder, the SS Gersapa, one of the biggest deep-sea hauls ever recovered. Back in the height of the Second World War, Britain's ship was hit by a torpedo fired from a German U-boat before sinking beneath the waves just off the coast of Ireland. Tragically, all but one of her 85 crew were lost in the wreckage, and the vessel was thought to have disappeared into the murky depths. The ship was part of a convoy tasked with transporting vital supplies, including silver bullion, to aid the British war effort. The silver was intended to help fund the war, making its loss a significant blow to the Allied forces at the time. For decades, the exact location of the wreck remained a mystery, with many believing it would never be found due to the extreme depth and challenging conditions of the North Atlantic. The discovery of the SS Gersapa in 2011 was hailed as a major breakthrough in marine archaeology, showcasing the advancements in deep-sea exploration technology. Using remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, Odyssey Marine Exploration was able to locate and carefully extract the silver bars from the wreckage without disturbing the surrounding environment. The recovery operation was not only a financial success but also a testament to human ingenuity and determination in uncovering the secrets of the deep. Incredibly, it was equipped as a British cargo ship during the war, and it was actually filled with over 48 tons of pure silver at the time of its sinking. Obviously, this fact had caught the attention of curious treasure seekers decades later. After sitting at a depth of 15,000 feet for 70 years, a U.S. deep-sea exploration company somehow managed to recover all 48 tons of silver from the wreckage. Odyssey Marine Exploration, under contract from the British government, completed the heaviest and deepest recovery of precious metals from a shipwreck ever made. Incredibly, they also got to keep 80% of the haul, resulting in a payday of over $30 million. Number 9. Grenadier. When it comes to discovering some of the most monstrous marine life, we often have to descend to the darkest and most terrifying depths of the ocean. Feast your eyes on the giant grenadier fish, a terrifying aquatic monster that can be found in the benthopelagic level, also known as the Midnight Zone, one of the darkest and most inaccessible levels of the ocean. As you can tell, the most frightening feature of this bizarre creature is its wide and all-encompassing maw, an evolutionary method that it uses to slowly swim over the seabed and scoop up any and every living creature that it can get its mouth around. These fish can grow up to 6 feet in length, making them one of the largest inhabitants of the deep sea. Their long, tapering tails and oversized heads give them a ghostly, eel-like appearance, adding to their eerie reputation. Giant grenadiers are opportunistic feeders, consuming everything from small fish and crustaceans to marine snow and organic debris that drifts down from the surface. Their slow metabolism allows them to survive in the nutrient-scarce environment of the Midnight Zone, where food is often hard to come by. Despite their fearsome appearance, They are preyed upon by larger deep-sea predators, such as sleeper sharks and other benthic hunters. The giant grenadier's ability to thrive in such extreme conditions has made it a subject of interest for marine biologists, who study its adaptations to better understand life in the deep ocean. Not only that, but the giant grenadier also feasts on rotting carcasses, and terrifyingly, these aquatic monsters were reportedly a very common sight after the remains of the HMS Titanic were rediscovered back in 1985. Perhaps most unnerving, the giant grenadier fish contains a smelly chemical compound that causes it to exude a deathly stench, meaning that anyone who's unfortunate enough to catch this aquatic monster will smell like it for days afterward. Yikes! Number 8. Amphitrite statue. Ever heard of Amphitrite? No? Well, don't worry, because you're probably not alone in that information. But for those that aren't aware, in Greek mythology, Amphitrite was the queen of the seas, married to the god Poseidon, lord of all oceans on earth. So then it would make sense that an eerie and strikingly beautiful statue was carved in her honor and then sank beneath the 7 seas by her loyal followers, right? Take a look at the 9-foot-tall, 600-pound pure bronze mermaid statue located just off the Cayman Islands that has since become one of the eeriest and most sought-after diving experiences on the planet. The statue, known as Amphitrite, the goddess of the sea, rests at a depth of 55 feet, making it accessible to both beginner and experienced divers. Over the years, the statue has become encrusted with coral and marine life, blending seamlessly into its underwater surroundings and creating a hauntingly beautiful sight. Schools of fish often swim around the statue, adding to its ethereal allure and making it a favorite spot for underwater photographers. The placement of the statue was intended to draw attention to the importance of marine conservation, serving as both an artistic and ecological statement. Divers who visit the site often leave small tokens or offerings at the base of the statue, further enhancing its mystique and connection to the mythology of Amphitrite. The statue has also become a symbol of the Cayman Islands' commitment to preserving their coral reefs and marine ecosystems. Its creator, Simon Morris, designed the sculpture to withstand the harsh conditions of the ocean, ensuring that it will remain a part of the underwater landscape for generations to come. The site is now a protected area, ensuring that both the statue and the surrounding marine life are safeguarded from harm. The sculpture, which was created by a Canadian artist named Simon Morris, was housed in the Cayman Island Reef back in the year 2000 and was ceremoniously placed and sunk in a boat alongside a crowd of dedicated spectators. Now it's visited by thousands of divers each year, each of them hoping to pay their respects to the Queen of the Seas. Number 7. The Greenland Shark. Alright, on the subject of terrifying aquatic monsters, few of them are as thought-provoking as the Greenland shark, a creature so mysterious and ancient that scientists are still debating just how old this extraordinary animal really is. Endemic to the cold waters of the North Atlantic and the Arctic Ocean, the Greenland shark has often been considered the world's longest-lived vertebrate, believed to be capable of achieving a lifespan of anywhere between 300 to 500 years, and in some cases even older. On average, these extraordinary creatures are around 21 feet in length and weigh upwards of 2,200 pounds, although some specimens can grow as large as 25 feet and weigh a staggering 3,100 pounds. Their slow growth rate, estimated at just 0.4 inches per year, contributes to their incredible longevity, making them one of the slowest-growing vertebrates on the planet. Greenland sharks are opportunistic feeders, consuming a wide variety of prey, including fish, seals, and even carrion, such as whale carcasses. Remarkably, scientists have even found remains of terrestrial animals, like reindeer, in their stomachs, suggesting they scavenge whatever they can find. Despite their sluggish movements, they are highly effective hunters, using their keen sense of smell to locate prey in the dark, icy depths. Their flesh is toxic to humans due to high levels of trimethylamine oxide, but it is consumed in some cultures after being fermented to neutralize the toxins. As a whole, the Greenland shark has a thick body with a short, round snout, small gill openings and fins, and small eyes, which are often affected by a lifelong parasite that turns these mysterious creatures blind for the majority of their lives. Located at depths of around 4,000 feet, the Greenland shark has often been particularly difficult to study due to the fact that it lives in some of the most perilous climates on Earth, favoring the freezing waters of the Northern Hemisphere as its hunting grounds. Who knows what other mysteries these incredible creatures possess? Number 6. The Neptune Memorial Reef. While we've seen several statues on the matter, the subject of memorializing those that have lost their lives out in the endless deep blue sea, this next entry is an entire underwater complex exclusively dedicated to the dead. Located at around 3 miles off the coast of Key Biscayne in Miami, this underwater cemetery is truly one of a kind, complete with stone roads, soaring gates, and crumbling ruins in memorial to those that have perished there. At 40 feet below the surface of the sea, the Neptune Memorial Reef was designed by Florida artist Kim Brandel and was opened way back in 2007 in sponsorship with the Neptune Society, a cremation company and funeral directory based out of Florida. The reef is not only a memorial but also serves as an artificial reef, providing a habitat for marine life such as fish, coral, and sponges. Over the years, the site has become a thriving underwater ecosystem, attracting diverse and marine biologists alike. The intricate design of the memorial includes statues, columns, and plaques, all of which are slowly being encrusted with marine growth, blending the man-made structures with the natural environment. Families of the deceased can visit the site by diving or snorkeling, making it a unique and interactive way to honor their loved ones. The Neptune Memorial Reef is also considered an eco-friendly alternative to traditional burials, as it contributes to ocean conservation efforts. Its creators hope that the reef will continue to grow and evolve, becoming a lasting tribute to both the departed and the beauty of the ocean. Incredibly, for those that wish to be buried at the bottom of the murky blue, cremated remains are cast into concrete memorials and placed within the sunken necropolis, left behind for divers to explore in the mysterious and murky wreckage. While it may be pretty unnerving on the surface, it seems to be one of the more thoughtful underwater memorials ever constructed. Number 5. The Ship with No Name. Despite the endless supply of weird creatures, our oceans have also been the site of countless discoveries, and more often than not, many strange things have been unearthed from the bottom of the sea. While shipwrecks are a sad and common occurrence beneath the deep blue sea, few of them can offer such a startling insight into the ancient world as the Ship with No Name, a terrifying wreckage that occurred in the Gulf of Mexico, taking the life of everyone on board. Way back in 2011, at the bottom of the Gulf Coast, more than 4,000 feet beneath the surface, researchers discovered an ancient shipwreck that had been kept in an astonishing state of preservation, which is believed to have originally gone down more than 200 years ago. The ship's wooden hull, remarkably intact despite centuries underwater, has provided researchers with a rare glimpse into 19th century shipbuilding techniques. Among the artifacts recovered were navigational tools, including a sextant and a chronometer, which suggest the ship may have been a merchant vessel. The musket rifles, still packed in their original crates, hint at the possibility that the ship was involved in trade or perhaps even smuggling during a time of political unrest. Marine archaeologists have also uncovered personal items, such as shoes and utensils, which offer a haunting reminder of the lives lost in the wreck. The cold, oxygen-poor waters of the Gulf have played a significant role in preserving the wreck, allowing researchers to study it in extraordinary detail. The first hint of the shipwreck came in the early 2010s when a sonar survey conducted by Shell Oil revealed an unknown blip on the seafloor. Although it's long been studied by historians and researchers, the identification of this long-lost vessel is yet to be determined. Number 4. Shipwreck Survivor. Alright, for our next entry into this terrifying world, we should probably take a look at one of the most truly terrifying tales in deep-sea diving history. The stark truth is, one of the most testing facets of exploring the deep sea is in dealing with the countless individuals who have tragically lost their lives in marine disasters, where teams of recovery divers are dispatched to a certain location in the vain hope of rescuing those lost at sea. For the most part, the survival rate of anyone involved with a maritime wreckage is incredibly low, almost to the point of being non-existent, meaning that divers who are dispatched to a vessel's last known location are often sent to retrieve the dead, rather than save the lives of the living. However, in one of the most shocking tales of survival at sea ever told, a man named Harrison Ajegba O'Keefe managed to live for almost 3 days inside the remnants of his sunken ship, trapped deep at the bottom of the ocean. Back in May 2013, a tugboat with a crew of 12 was moving through choppy waters off the coast of Nigeria when it was hit by a sudden rogue wave, capsizing the vessel and sending it sinking to the bottom of the sea. The ship's cook, however, somehow managed to survive the initial wreckage, and after finding himself in an air pocket at the rear of the ship, Harrison managed to survive for an astonishing 60 hours at a breathtaking depth of over 100 feet. Astonishingly, he managed to survive long enough to be rescued by divers who were surveying the wreckage in the belief that no one had survived. Number 3. Sea Spider. If you thought that the squidworm was terrifying, well, we hate to break it to you, but we're not yet through with the terrifying deep-sea insects. Feast your eyes on the Southern Ocean giant sea spider, a creature so darn terrifying that it puts most terrestrial tarantulas to shame by literally sucking the life out of its prey while it skitters along the ocean floor. Technically, however, this horrifying monster isn't actually a spider, but instead belongs to a group of arthropods called the Pycnogonida, creatures that aren't regularly found sculling along the bottom of many of the world's oceans and seas. The most striking thing about these bizarre entities is their anatomy, which is unlike any other on Earth. These sea spiders feed by using a long, tube-like proboscis to pierce their prey, which includes soft-bodied animals like sea anemones and sponges, and then suck out their internal fluids. Their unique circulatory system relies on the movement of their legs to pump blood and oxygen throughout their bodies, as they lack a centralized heart. Incredibly, Their legs also house their reproductive organs, meaning that mating and egg-laying are entirely leg-based activities. Scientists believe that the extreme cold of the polar regions has allowed these sea spiders to grow to such massive sizes, a phenomenon known as polar gigantism. Despite their eerie appearance, they play a crucial role in the deep-sea ecosystem, helping to control populations of other marine invertebrates. Studying these creatures has provided researchers with valuable insights into how life can adapt to some of the harshest environments on Earth. The thing is, if these sea spiders appear to have no bodies, that's because they don't. You see, all of their organs are in their legs, and essentially they can move completely unhindered without any torso or other usually essential body parts. While most of these creatures possess a leg span of just 9 or so inches, some of these sea spiders can grow to pretty astonishing lengths, particularly those that live in the Arctic and Antarctic polar regions. Yikes. Number 2. Squidworm. Sure, you've heard of Squidward, but this strange and mysterious squidworm is far more terrifying than a grumpy neighbor. While there are countless bizarre, creepy crawlies lurking at the bottom of the ocean, few of them are as terrifying as this terrifying squidworm discovered back in 2007. As one of the strangest discoveries in recent times, marine biologists are still struggling to explain this weird creature, despite having over a decade to decipher its unnatural anatomy. As a free-swimming worm, the squidworm has 10 squid-like limbs, which it uses to propel itself through the water, similar to how an earthworm moves through dirt. What's even more fascinating is that the squidworm's tentacle-like appendages are believed to help it capture marine snow, organic particles that drift down from the ocean's surface. These appendages are also covered in sensory structures, allowing the squidworm to detect changes in its environment and locate food in the pitch-black depths. Its translucent body makes it nearly invisible to predators, a vital adaptation for survival in the deep sea. Scientists have also noted that the squidworm's anatomy suggests it may be a transitional species, offering clues about the evolution of other deep-sea organisms. Despite its small size, the squidworm plays an important role in the deep-sea ecosystem, recycling nutrients and supporting the food web. With a slimy, flattened body, the squidworm measures in at around 3.5 inches long, and it possesses 25 or more pairs of translucent white paddles that it maneuvers its serpentine body with. The thing is, scientists know so little about this creature because of how deep they had to dive into the ocean in order to retrieve them. Found at depths of up to 9,950 feet beneath the surface, these squidworms must be manually retrieved by specially engineered robots, contained in large, custom-made canisters, and then preserved in a formaldehyde solution before reaching the surface. This truly bizarre squidworm differs dramatically from all other known worms, and our understanding of it is virtually non-existent. Number 1. Vampire squid. And for our final entry into this terrifying subaquatic realm, feast your eyes on one of the most nightmarish creatures imaginable. What's the worst thing you could hope to find beneath the ocean waves? A squid? A vampire? Well, how about a vampire squid? Yeah, that sounds pretty terrifying, right? Well, despite their nightmarish namesake and their literal scientific name meaning vampire squid from hell, thankfully for us, the vampire squid doesn't exactly live up to its demonic reputation. For divers, while it would certainly be like discovering an alien in the murky ocean depths, the vampire squid is actually considered to be a threatened species, and despite the fact that they are highly elusive creatures, conservation efforts haven't exactly been successful. Unlike other squid species, the vampire squid doesn't actively hunt its prey but instead feeds on marine snow, organic debris that drifts down from the upper layers of the ocean. Its unique feeding strategy allows it to survive in the oxygen minimum zone, a region of the ocean with very low oxygen levels where few predators can follow. The vampire squid's dark, gelatinous body and glowing blue eyes make it one of the most otherworldly creatures in the deep sea. It also has bioluminescent organs called photophores, which it uses to confuse predators or communicate with others of its kind. When threatened, the vampire squid can eject a cloud of bioluminescent mucus, creating a glowing distraction to aid its escape. This remarkable adaptation, combined with its ability to invert its body, makes it one of the most fascinating survivors of the deep. Astonishingly, as observed by scientists, the vampire squid can actually turn itself inside out in order to avoid predators, in an effort to resemble floating marine plant life. For the most part, this thing is a living fossil, and the vampire squid has remained virtually unchanged for around 300 million years. Who knows what other terrifying monsters it was hiding from? And there you have it, 15 mysterious things that gave Diverse quite a scare. What did you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching until the end. You've been watching Thought Trail. See you next time.